What's going on, guys? It's Will Kelly here with Military Lawn Cuts, where we did almost $600,000 in annual revenue last year. And in today's video, we are talking to Justin down in South Carolina, where he jumped 2 full feet into lawn care just last year and is looking to try to grow his business. And we talk about some great stuff in this video. If you like this content, smash that like button. Let me know if you have any questions down below. And as always, hit the subscribe button. See you guys here in a bit.
There we go.
Nice.
My friend.
How are you, man?
I am good. I am a bit, like a better word, I'm a bit stressed, but you're good.
I like the army shirt.
Thank you, brother.
Representing.
Thank you, brother. I'll never be ashamed of this shirt. It's actually one of my original basic training shirts, by the way. It's one of my originals. Yeah.
Wow. So there's some blood, sweat, and tears in that shirt.
Absolutely, 100%. It's one of those, the old one too, the real thick one that absorbs all the sweat and so makes you hot at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, cool, man. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, maybe just share with me maybe just a little bit of background of you and your story and stuff, and what are some key points that I can help you out with.
Sure. So back in 2022, my business partner and I, Josh, we decided to resign from our careers at Ingram Micro / Verizon, where we were national account executives, national sales executives for Verizon. I managed the East Coast territory. Josh managed West Coast. We both traveled about 200 days out of the year. We were both, top 1% in sales in terms of overall Verizon growth within the channel, within channel sales, mobility channel sales. But that, of course, we did that for about 10, 15 years. And then we did that together. And then we, decided to resign our careers last year. Little backstory to that. That's been a little bit of heaven and hell, of course, to quit cold turkey on a 6-figure career in the middle of the year for both of us. Easier for Josh because he was a little more financially prepared than I was. And that's a whole nother, I'm going to get into that here in a second. But we decided to resign. Josh was a yard nerd, in his yard tinkering and doing his own fertilization weed control. Same for me as well. For me, I bought my first house, my mom's first child to buy a home. And I was looking for a landscaper, and I probably reached out to about 7 or 8 guys, and one guy showed up, never came back, gave me a quote. I probably thought I was too poor to afford the services or whatever. I don't know. Nonetheless, that's when I realized, like, man, this is easy pickings. If no one shows up or answers the phone, this should be relatively easy. And so we decided to start a lawn care company. Since then, I will be honest with you, Will, last year was a struggle. Financially for me, my home went into foreclosure because I just simply did not anticipate, the slow growth. Got it out of foreclosure end of the year. We had several big projects come in towards the end of the year that helped me kind of fill that and close that gap. So that happened pretty well there, and I thank God for that. Going into 2022 was April to December. I will admit heavily that I don't know our real revenue number. We weren't tracking it last year, and quite honestly, we aren't tracking it this year either. A part of, again, the systems that we don't have. This year has been a bit of a struggle as well. Just starting off this year, had a great start to February, March. Our existing customer base from last year probably did about 20K in real true work in March for our existing customer base. But going into April, here are some of my struggles. Number one, our website is trash. It needs on-page SEO like tomorrow, like yesterday. It's not by choice. Again, with my business partner, he's one that would rather us do it ourselves versus paying for it. When I first started, I was Mike Andy's everything. So lawn care web design. I even had lawn care media. All my flyers are from those guys as well. I was going to join the franchise, but then in the partnership, kind of mutually agreed not to go the franchise route, which I'm kind of regretting as we speak. Nonetheless, this year the struggle for me right now, or for us right now, is generating leads. It has been like right now. I mean, did all this work on our website, cranked on the Google ads, nothing. I mean, complete ghost town. Not one lead came from our website. Now, I didn't spend a whole bunch of money on that, but nonetheless, it's just almost as if nothing's been working so far. And then on top of that, add to that, there are no systems in place. It makes it even harder. Um, and coming from a guy that, spent 15 years in a corporate environment, I mean, I'm just embarrassed almost to say just how pathetic I think, and not how pathetic, just how poor we performed over the last 18 months. And I'm afraid, Will, that if something doesn't change financially, like right now, Mike had a short the other day that talked about, like, one of his points was, when you're cash broke, your time means nothing to you, right? Like my time, I just rushed in from driving for Lyft. I just did 25 rides today, you know what I mean? So I'm exhausted from that. But on top of that, I'm either doing that, right? Because right now the business isn't paying any bills for me. I mean, it barely is making ends meet for me. Of course, again, Josh is financially situated to where he doesn't need the business to survive. I need it to survive, and it's not doing that for me. Um, and I'm afraid that if something doesn't break loose in April, I may have to go back into full time work to, because right now everything's like financially falling apart. Credit card bills are going behind. My mortgage is now a month behind again. So just those, you kind of see where where this is headed, right? Like this is kind of like a do or die quarter for us. And I just need a lot of help.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot to unravel on that. Anytime that you go from, because I mean, you were in the corporate world for how long?
Oh, my entire career.
Your entire career. So
Left the military, went in the corporate.
yeah, so you jump 2 feet into it, and you're gung ho. So I like that mentality. But it's definitely going to come with a lot of stress, with especially because I mean you got a mortgage to pay for, you got bills to pay for, utilities, all that stuff. So I think you're doing what you need to right now with the Uber and the Lyft or whatever you have to do to kind of get by. Some things that I would probably recommend. So, first off, where are you located?
I'm in I'm in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. And do you have like so is your market pretty good out there? Like
Oh yeah. This is
okay.
Greenville is one of the fastest growing cities in the southeast.
Okay.
So the market's there.
Awesome. And then for your website, what like domain are you using or like what website builder?
So I'll be honest, I got our website built by a Fiverr expert. And I've been tinkering with this damn website for the better part of a year. In fact, I think I probably spent more on this website than we would have spent on like a nice job or a 180 sites website. Now I know we haven't spent as much as what a Mike Andy's lawn care web design would have cost us, because we did start off with that website. We did start off, but then it realized we're a small company. We got like 10 grand in the bank. Why are we paying $400 for a website each month? And I still don't think we need to pay $400 for a website, by the way, just FYI. Nonetheless, the website it's just kind of piecemealing it together slowly. The next thing I do is spend another $150 on some new SEO content, and I still don't know if that's going to work. You know what I mean? So I'm at the point where I want some kind of professional help with the website, but it's just kind of juggling, like, you know, is that something I should be doing now that I realize, like, that's not my expertise. So I'm just kind of stuck on that part as well.
Yeah, so I think with where you're at, the website is definitely needed, but I would say there's more immediate things that you can probably implement before the website. I don't think you need to spend a lot of money on the website. To tell you the truth, we've been paying $15 a month for a Wix website, and if you go to militarylawncuts.com, I built all of that, everything. And so all I did was go on YouTube and and like learn from like other people, and then I went to other businesses that had great websites, and I just emulated it. And I said, okay, their banner is this color. Let me put it this way. They have a video playing in the background. Okay, let's get a couple shots. I'll use a shot clip and put together a 25-second video, and that'll play in the background to make it more professional. I'm looking at keywords from other people, like literally go to Google and just type in lawn care near me and find the ones that are ranking naturally, organically, without paid ads. Those are the ones that you want to pull and almost copy, not word from word, but you want to get almost close and use 3 or 4 different ones, so you're not just copying the entire one business, right? Pull and piece together. So that's all free. That's YouTube University, just learning in the evening times when the phones aren't ringing, how to put some of that stuff together, how to create a submission form right there on the website, how to use some keywords, some other things, immediate things that you can do to help try to boost some leads coming in are your current customers right now. How much are you doing? You said 20,000 in March.
Again, I'll be honest with you, Will. Again, we don't have a system for it. So I could not tell you the real true. I mean, I could go through QuickBooks, reconcile everything, kind of categorize some things as I think I know them. But in terms of a true P&L, true revenue number, I could not give you that true number.
What about how many customers? How many like maybe reoccurring or mowing customers do you think that maybe you have?
So right now we have about 23 recurring mowing customers going into the season. I would like to get that number to about 70 by the end of June, 70, 80 by the end of June, hopefully 90 by the end of June, July, somewhere around there.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So yeah, with the website thing, I don't think you need to pay anybody else. I think just taking the time when you get home from Uber and Lyft, you're going to be absolutely drained. But this is the life of an entrepreneur. We work 14-hour, 15-hour days. Yeah. To not work 8 in a corporate or 8 or 9 a day. You know what I mean? And it's not always like that, but sometimes you just got to kind of get down and go through the grind, which you're doing. I mean, you're out there doing Lyft, Uber, and all that stuff. Some other things. So I'm trying to think of free stuff, right? So like right now you have, I think, more time on your hands. Okay. So what I would do, every single neighborhood that you do, especially HOA communities, if they're local, I would get inside of those Facebook groups somehow, some way, for every neighborhood that you service. So find out you've got 23 recurring customers. I would get inside of those neighborhood communities, and yeah, and sometimes it'll ask you, hey, what's your address? Just put your customer's address. Just get inside of those Facebook groups, because what you're going to see is there's going to be people on there that are like, hey, I need mowing services. Or once a week, maybe post your logo and say, hey, we're offering these services. Okay, that's all free stuff. On Nextdoor, getting inside of the communities as well. You should be able to get into probably 10 or 15 different neighborhood community pages in the local area. That way you can start to be interactive on there. Anybody that's looking for services, you can comment on it. Or you can also post once a week, make it a Saturday thing. Every Saturday you post on the 10 or 15 different pages. I think that will definitely help you. I'm trying to think. Do you guys have a truck?
Yes, we have a truck. It's in my driveway now. We have a 09, 06, 09 Ram F-150, 1500. We have a 7x14 enclosed trailer. We have, of course, we have a standard B Walker mower. We've got a 30-inch X-Mark. We've got a 21-inch Honda combi system, weed eater. I mean, so we have a good setup. We got 13,373 in the bank. Yeah.
Do you guys have the logos on the trailer and the truck? Okay, if you're going to spend any kind of money, whether it be Google ads or Facebook ads or website, I would not do any of that. I would put logos. I would put your phone number on the truck. Okay. That your phone number, your name, and it doesn't need to be glorious. It just needs to customers need to be able to snap a photo when they hear the mower outside, and then call your phone number. And like, even if you don't even like, I mean, if you have the funds to put the logo on it, that's a good start. But that right there will pay 10 times over whatever you pay for it by the end of the year. I'm telling you, customers will call, and that'll be on there for this year and next year, for next 3-4 years, until how long it lasts. I would, for us, we pay like $400 per truck, but we have our website, our logo, and our phone number. Like, you don't even need to do all of that. Just get a phone number out there and maybe your name, and just get something super simple, easy. It doesn't even need, you don't even need to slap the logo on there yet, right? So you guys are gotta be scrappy with kind of what you got. The good news is you guys have time on your hands. Okay, so the other thing is, like, do you have a printer at home?
Yes.
Okay, so simple paper, you probably don't need to go out and spend any more money on professional flyers. You don't need any of that stuff. Literally, you could print off a piece of paper with your logo, your name, and you probably don't have to spend any more money. Just print off 100 copies, like tonight. Print them out, your name, logo, phone number, the 5 services that you offer or whatever, and literally on these 23 customers, hit the 5 surrounding homes on your next visit.
Gotcha.
Just slip them in the door, fold them in half, slip them in there so they don't blow away from the wind, and like, hopefully you don't need to buy ink after today doing 100 copies. But like, so like, that's the kind of scrappiness that, like, you've got to kind of like really try to think outside the box. Like, hey, how do we start to market with very little to no money? And I think a lot of it is just using your time on YouTube University, figuring out the website thing. I think that'll get leads. The other thing that is super, super big, okay, Google reviews. Do you guys have any Google? Do you have a Google My Business?
We have 20 Google reviews.
Okay.
We have 4.8 stars. Been meaning to really ramp that up, but we'll that is a goal of mine. But when you have such a long list of things to do, I guess that one kind of fell through the cracks. But that is a goal of mine, to get more reviews this year. So how should we kind of go after the customers that we've already done? I can send an email out, right? What should we be doing there?
Literally, and I wouldn't recommend this for like our guys or team. I'm recommending this for you because you're in like the 4th quarter and you need to like figure this out very quickly to make sure you're paying your bills and stuff like that. Literally, on every visit of the mow, when you're done, I would ring the doorbell. Hey, sir, ma'am, just want to introduce myself if you haven't already. And just, hey, how we just doing a quality check today. We just finished the yard. How does it look? How has your services been in the last 30 days? And they're going to say, oh, it's awesome. Like, we love you guys. All that stuff. Great. Do you mind? Can I text you the link to our Google? Take 30 seconds to leave us a good review. It helps us reach more great homeowners just like yourself. Just doing that on those 23 reoccurring, you should be able to get 5 good Google reviews. And I'm telling you, 5 good Google reviews out of the 23 that you ring the doorbell will absolutely get that phone ringing in the next couple of weeks and help push you up in the search engine. Again, this is, you're not having to spend any money. You're talking to the customer. You go above and beyond, and you're really kind of reaching out and doing it that way. So I think the mindset that you have is really good to get the reoccurring customers up from 23 to 70 is what you're trying, 70, 75. Don't be scared to fill in the gaps with projects. And I know it may be a little bit difficult right now with, potentially maybe customer, like, I mean, I know even us, we're doing a lot of quotes right now and there's like not a lot of people booking, but the one-time landscape jobs, if you need to open up your services just a little bit, that's completely fine. Like, if you need to take on a sod job, tree trimming, like all these, like, we don't do that anymore. But when you're your size and you need the income, you should be doing dethatching jobs, renting aerators from Home Depot. Like, you should be doing everything that's somewhat involved in lawn care to produce until you get to that 75 reoccurring to pay the bills. Um, Even though I know Mike Andy's style is very simple services and like all day, like yes, we're doing 600,000 and we're finally there. But the first year we would take on everything that we could, paver patios, pea gravel, small patios. Like I would do it all. And like there's going to be some learning through that, but at least it's generating income that you guys can help keep the lights on and keep moving forward. And you know what I mean. So I think that'll definitely help. What CRM are you using? Are you guys
So I
using?
am actually using Jobber, but I think I'm going to switch over to Copilot this weekend. Just because I'm a big automations guy,
Yeah.
and I always knew Mike was probably going to go CRM route. When I was trying to join the franchise, I kind of got some backstory about some CRM research they were doing and switching over from SAP. But yeah, I started off with SAP. I was going to pay Simple Growth and all those guys a whole bunch of money to do, but thanks to Chat GPT, I think I don't need any of that stuff. But yeah, Service Autopilot is no longer anything that I think I'll probably use again. This is so expensive. I mean,
Super.
I had the whole kit and caboodle for a month, and it's like $500. Uh,
Yeah.
then we went down to Jobber, and Jobber has been serving us pretty well the last season and a half. But I'm going to switch over to Copilot here soon.
Yeah, and to piggyback off, so we use Service Autopilot, and it's like $400 a month. It's super expensive. We are going to change the Copilot probably end of this year. But what Mike has with Copilot right now is I think the first 50 customers in the basic version is free. So like you, to be honest, don't need all of the automations right now. Like I feel like you are definitely. I think you definitely have the ability to succeed, like in business and everything. But don't be afraid to wear the hat and get down in the weeds and kind of like get the hands dirty on that stuff. Like whether it be like building the website, or doing automations, all of that stuff. Because like when you're just starting out, again, like you said, like you don't really have the funds to necessarily pay people to do like marketing or flyers or build a website. Like a lot of the times it's like, hey, we just have to kind of try to figure it out ourselves through YouTube, through reaching out to people like myself or other people. And then from there, once you get rocking and rolling, once you don't have the time to do a lot of that stuff, then you start to hand that off and pay people to do it. You know what I mean? Like even today, like, and I do not like building out the website. Like I literally dread it, and so much so that like there's something super important that I have to do, and I've been putting it off for the last 3 days. Like it's so, but I know like even with the stage that we're at, like we almost did 600,000 last year, and like I'm still the one building out the website and doing the back end and doing the SEO on top of like answering the phones, training the new people out in the field, and like the 50 other hats that I wear like behind the scenes. You know what I mean? So like don't be afraid to go out there and like really be the one to like like just really try to figure it out, so like, but I hear you on Service Autopilot. Automations is super advanced, and it's like there's times where you do have to need assistance and stuff like that. But
In terms of like right now, I've got a partnership with a long time colleague and friend, and I will be honest, though, that has been a struggle all itself as well, just because two guys, alpha, personalities, extremely intelligent men who done well for themselves in terms of their careers. Um, but for me, when I first started, I wanted to join a franchise. I wanted to avoid all of these pitfalls, right? I didn't care about what name we called it or what logo we had. I'm a business person. I wanted to be a business. For us, I tell you my theory of it. I wanted to embed myself in their system. I wanted to embed myself in their system, learn the Augusta system, and then rinse, wash, and repeat with my own. Leave that Augusta location all its own and general manager, systems driven, and then start locations 2, 3, 4, and 5 under my own brand, having learned from the Augusta system. I actually stumped Mike on a call one day about that very question, like, hey, can I join the franchise and not like technically same thing he did with, with the gym. He joined Anytime Fitness to learn, not to really kind of have a great big giant business, and 10 gyms later. He learned it to learn the franchise system. And that's what I wanted to do with Augusta. Now, 2 years into this, I'm kind of like, do we still go that route, or do we just say, hey, look, I think we have enough to kind of build our own brand. I'm kind of stuck there. I'm kind of stuck in that mode. But I wanted to ask this specific question about partnerships in general. So you and your wife are technically partners in the business. How do you all bifurcate and separate your tasks, your duties? What is it that you're doing strategically for the business from a day-to-day perspective? And what is your wife doing? So I can kind of get an idea of how Josh and I can split our tasks versus doing everything together.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. So my wife and I, we are like the power team. Like I'm telling you, like my strengths are her weaknesses, and her strengths are my weaknesses. Okay. Like it's like we fit when we're together, we're like the all-star like couple. You know what I mean? So like, but basically what we did, like, so she's very extrovert, people oriented. She likes to manage people. I'm more of the back end, analytical, financial. Man, I can sit down and talk about KPIs all day and close ratios. Like that's me. And I'm not like sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge for me to go out and like talk and manage to the crews. Like now I do it because it's one of the 100 hats that I wear. But like for her, she excels better in that and interacting and caring for the frontline employees. You know what I mean? So like, just understanding that. And then the other thing for me is like I'm more long-term visionary, like, which I can't spend my whole day like visualizing things, right? I have to definitely get into the weeds and like do things. But like I'm definitely the one that's looking 5, 10, 15 years down the road to where my wife is here and now. Let's get this work done. Let's check it off. And I'm like, hold on, let's analyze this. And that's why I think we make such a good team. But basically what we did is we literally sat down and we're like, okay, what are all the tasks that we do? We're kind of like co-GMs right now. We did have a general manager. He doesn't work here anymore. But we will replace that GM position probably in the next 6 months. And then we'll open up a second location probably in the next 9 to 12. And then at that time, we'll both kind of move up and be kind of like co-regional managers. But yeah, basically we just sat down, listed all the tasks out of the daily, like scheduling, equipment maintenance, just everything that goes with the business. And then we just, hey, who's better at this? And just kind of task it out that way.
Okay. How do you all hold each other accountable from a system
So
perspective? If you were, let's say you were doing 2 million and in both locations were $1.5 million a piece, and systems, how do you hold yourselves accountable?
So are you asking like how do I hold my wife accountable or like
Yes.
the employees?
How does she hold you accountable? How do you hold her accountable?
Yeah, so I think we're both. That's a great question because there are times that things slip through the crack. Obviously, we just communicate about it. There are times where she has to step in and do and help out on my end. There's times where I have to step in and help her out on her end. It doesn't happen often, but in those scenarios, you just kind of talk through it. Hey, what happened? I noticed that the routes didn't get dispatched, or the lawn applications didn't get emailed 24 hours in advance. Why are we emailing them the night prior at 5 p.m.? Well, I got caught up this way. Okay, what are we gonna do? Let's take a look at this. What are we gonna do to make sure that hopefully this doesn't happen again, like in the near future? I understand mistakes happen. And then just really kind of talking it through in not like a derogatory or like targeting way, but just like, hey, we're both on the same team. Like we want the same result. We want to win. We want to excel. We want to, create more wealth and help other people, provide jobs, things like that. Like how do we work together on this and achieve this the common goal, you know? So yeah, that's a great question.
Okay. So right now, again, like I said, our biggest struggle right now is generating leads. And you know, last year was a struggle all its own, and we promised ourselves we weren't going to do it again this year. And so one of the things that I wanted to, you know, I know how I found you. I found you on YouTube, of course, and I really wanted to kind of reach out and get a mentor. Now, I'm not sure if you know Brian down in Augusta, Georgia, for Brian's Lawn Care. I mean, for Augusta Lawn Care. I've met
Brian Connor.
Brian. Yeah. Oh man. I mean, let me tell you something. If you've ever met Brian, I mean, just the most awesome guy you'll probably ever meet. I met him in Seattle. I went to go visit him in Augusta. The guy is running an amazing show down there, and I could only hope to have a business like his in the next 5 to 7 years. And again, he has talked about his own failures and his own downfalls as well. And that's why I want to keep going, because look, this guy's failed 2 or 3 times, and now he's using God to kind of help him keep going and keep the train running. So I want a mentor in our business. I just don't want a mentor without being able to add some value back, because I can't give any money, of course, right? If I had the money, I just pay Mike Andes, right? I just go and spend $800 to get on a call with him. So kind of help me understand, like, what is your availability monthly? I don't want to take up too much of your time. I do want some kind of other checkpoint to where I've got some accountability for myself. Could we schedule some time once a month to kind of digest our numbers and go through some of the key points or successes of the month, and kind of help us guide us through this next few months of growth?
Absolutely. Yeah. So like, I mean, what we're doing right now with our business is, we're really trying to reach more people, especially in the content creator world. That's why we're doing a lot of these coaching calls one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of my time, but I'm helping you. I'm hopefully helping other people that are watching this content. So, number one, it's super fulfilling. And number two, it aligns our goals with the long-term vision of our company, like helping other people. So yeah, we can definitely do like a once a month coaching call.
Mhm.
For now, like I definitely have time to definitely sit down and do a 30-minute coaching call with you.
Yep.
I'm always, you have my email, the media@militarylawncuts.com. Just whenever you want to schedule another call, just shoot me an email and say, hey, can we hop on? We can go deep. We can go deep into numbers, or we can go surface level of just like, hey, what are some good tactics? I mean, whatever. I'm here to help you and serve you. So yeah, if you need some help, and there's actually a couple people that I kind of coach and mentor in our local area. And
Mhm.
it's funny because like they're literally in my 5 mile radius, and I'm giving them the answers and the keys to like
Right.
success. And it's like, but like most people would be like, dude, why are you doing that? Like there's only so much, but they have a scarcity mindset. I don't have a scarcity mindset. I have an abundant mindset. And every spring there comes a time where like none of us can take on all the work because our phones are ringing off the hook, and it's like we need each other. If somebody gets hurt, is in the hospital, and they need us to mow their lawns for a week, like let's communicate. We're a team, right? So like, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I'll definitely, if you got our email,
The
so.
next call that I want to have is going to be going over at least the SO. Like, when you're a simple business, a small business like us, less than 50 customers, right? Like, what SOPs, sales and marketing, right? Should I have a sales and marketing SOP or system? So to say, like, now that I'm using that word more, it's like, okay, now that word sounds like facetious. I feel like, like it's a catch-all term, but like, what should I be focused on? Because I know, like, you had your coaching call with Mike, and Mike wanted you to come back the next call with an SOP on XYZ. At this stage, what SOP should I be focused on gathering or writing or putting together to help streamline the processes at this early stage?
So that's a great question. And I think we've got maybe 4 or 5 minutes left on this
Yep.
call.
Mm-hmm.
What I would recommend is you are the one that's out there pushing the mower, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are out there deep in the weeds right now.
Two of us. Yep.
That is what I would focus on. I wouldn't focus on necessarily the sales and marketing because it's more advanced. You're a year, maybe two, to where you're like full sales and marketing. Hey, we got a lot of operations going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I would master your craft on your day to day, what you're doing in the day to day, which is mowing lawns, pulling weeds, trimming bushes. Those are the services, because it's not always going to be that way. Once you put those logos on the truck, and you ask each customer for a Google review and you start getting some more leads, eventually you and your partner are going to say, hey, we need help. I can't do this all by myself. We have 70 plus reoccurring customers. And then at that point, you'll already have the SOPs and the systems built out exactly like the most fastest, efficient way on how to mow, weedy, edge, and blow the lawn. Like that needs to be like completely finalized and focused, because what's going to happen is as you move up the ranks, you're not, I mean, you may have to cover down every once in a while, but I'm no longer the expert in the field. I haven't been out mowing for like, I don't know, probably a year, maybe 8 months. I don't know the fastest way to mow a lawn anymore, right?
Yeah.
My frontline field members are the ones that are the experts at that. So like, but you're the expert now. So what you need to do is when you leave that position and you move up and you become the one who's answering more of the calls now because you're getting so bottled down with the phone calls, you can at least hand off your position better than you arrived at. Because right now there's no mowing SOP, there's no bush trimming SOP, there's no, how to do a checklist on a property, make sure the gate's shut, all of this stuff. But just have those built so that way when you do move out of that position, you can hand it and better than you arrived. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Absolutely.
And we'll tackle the when and the how later in terms of when we should be stepping out of the field and when we should be. And we have a part timer. We have 2 or 3 guys we can pull on and text and say, hey, 2 or 3 days for a project, can you come out? And those are probably going to be future employees as well. But I want to tackle those questions at a later date. I think you've given me enough to chew on. Tonight, I'll go in. We have a Nextdoor account, so I'll go into Nextdoor and really start reacclimating myself to Nextdoor. I'll be quite honest with you. Don't kill me for this. I am not a social media guy. You won't find me on Facebook. I mean, I just don't deal with it, right? But in this case, I know I have to. I'll be working more on getting into my Facebook groups, and then on this weekend, I'll do some drive-bys around about 10 or 15 of our customers and just do some 5 rounds with myself and my guy who can come around and help me with that. And then I'll email you the results of at least if we got leads from those areas. And so just kind of quick follow-up, no more money on leads. Looking at, printing out some flyers from my personal printer. From an SEO perspective, we're gonna, leave any paid behind and just work on. And I want to get your clarification on this. So I'm gonna find my top 3 lawn care companies. Do you recommend the True Greens of the world and the big guys, or just focus on my competitors and what they're using from a keyword research perspective?
Yeah, I would just find either a local, like it doesn't even need to be your market, right? You could do
Okay,
New
gotcha.
York. Just go to New York, lawn
Yeah.
care, best lawn care service in New York, but just make sure it's not paid. All
Okay.
organic. You want all organic, and those are the
So
companies you want to
find those companies that are ranking in the organic search.
Yeah.
Right now, when you say research their keywords, it's a stupid question, but how do I do that? Do I go into Google Search Console, or what tool do I use to do their keyword research on their on-page keyword research?
Just read through the website. So like,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Okay.
and you'll see like, so we're in Aubrey, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The word Aubrey is like 10 times on one page. Mowing, it's like 5, 10 times. Like you'll just, if you read through it, you'll tell, and
Yeah.
that's pushing it up. Yeah.
And the funny thing,
Alrighty, guys, I hope that brought great value to you. If it did, smash that like button, hit the subscribe, because there's going to be more great content coming your way. Just so you know, if you made it to the end of this video, if you guys want a coaching call with me, myself, for 30 minutes, go ahead. The email is below. It's media@militarylawncuts.com. Shoot me an email directly. I check that email regularly. Hop on a call with us. Let us help your business. And we're able to share it with other people to hopefully help them grow as well. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.